So, congratulations. This is really a fantastic film. I've been hearing about this film for quite a while, and was really happy to finally be able to get to see it myself. It's really, I mean, I don't know how you felt about it, but it really, I feel like it really walks this amazing tightrope and flips a lot of expectations of films that are similar to this, but really, you did stuff that really kind of flips the genre on its head in many ways, which I think is really fantastic. Seeing Ricky's anger and his shame versus his community's dealing with their hopes, his arrested development, and social norms, and doing the right things versus limitations. It's really fantastic stuff. And I want to start off by asking you about the short, because this film, I don't know if you know this, but this film started off as a short film. And did you make the short with making a feature, with the idea of making the feature?
So I get, first off, thanks everybody for showing up on this Tuesday. Well, what day is it? Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, so when I did the short, I just was gonna do the short, but I always believe what the universe guides me to. So the first person that said this short could be a feature was, shout out to Mick Cassell. He's one of my professors at NYU grad film. So he was the first one to say it, and then after that, I got repped by William Morris shortly after, and then a shout out to Lin Que and everybody, Karen, Sean, everybody that was just a part of it on this journey. I'm to be honest, I really don't know how it turned from a short into a feature. I'm still processing all of it.
So you didn't come into it like saying, I'm going to make the short so that I can make the features, because there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, there's you can see the entire movie in the short and vice versa. It's fascinating.
Thank you.
And I'm curious. So what was the pipeline like? How did that work for you? How did that work taking that?
You
short?
Want the long or short version?
The short version. We don't have that much time because we've got more questions.
All right. So pretty much we did it as a thesis. Lin Que don't even like to hear this, but I'm gonna say it. Initially, I was gonna graduate NYU with the script for the feature for my previous short, and then Lin Que was like, "Yo, we spending all this money to go to NYU. Why not just come out with as much stuff as possible?" And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Okay. So I'm always inspired by people around me. Just life. I could be on a train, hear a conversation, and then I'm like, oh, that's a movie right there. But with this film, so I've been doing documentary in the criminal justice system in Connecticut for almost 10 years prior to going to grad school, and just growing up where I grew up. A lot of my people's unfortunately been in and out of the criminal justice system. So I wanted to make a film that, brought that story to the forefront and resonated, and tried to give the audience a visceral experience through people, or like Ricky isn't based on someone's specific, but I know people like Ricky, so I wanted to create that. And, we came together, we worked on the short and the feature, as well as I have producers in here. I have everybody in here, and yeah.
So can you talk about the writing process between you guys? You co-wrote it together. So how did the process go? How long did it take to get to the script that you wanted to shoot?
I feel like we've kind of been on a bullet train since the short, because the short got into Sundance, and we also went to the Sundance Screenwriters Lab. That was kind of first. It was right. It's the same time. So we're there at the cabins, and then we go straight to the festival. So from there, it took us 2 years to get to the set. So we had time for it to kind of marinate and for us to get it to where it needed to be.
And was it the two of you in a room knocking things out, or were you passing scripts back and forth? How were you doing it?
The room, in person, Zoom, however, whatever
we went
was
straight
clever.
down the line, though.
Yep.
And can you give us an idea of what? Talk about your experience at Sundance. How did those doors open for you? What did the process? How's the process?
Which Sundance? The short?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
I want to give people an idea of what that means.
Yeah,
How you get something into Sundance. What,
so,
invited to things. Et cetera.
Sundance has, for me, literally I mean, it just was like when I met Michelle Satter. Shout out to Michelle Satter, for the first time. It just felt like I knew her immediately. She was just finishing up a meeting with my classmate Hassan Hadi, who just did the President's Cake, and she didn't know that he worked on the film, and we all like worked together. You know, Lin Que, Sam, Ariane, Mark, like we just all like came together with the short. She saw the short from my agent and Simon, one of the other producers over there, and you know, wanted to meet, and we met, and we were invited to apply for the Writers Lab. And you know, at this point in my entire life, I applied to the Writers Lab quite a long time. I applied to Sundance even longer, you know, and you know, I was just honored to just even have that meeting with Michelle, even if in my mind I was like, even if I didn't get in, just to get to this point, I was honored. You know, so you know, the universe had bigger plans, obviously, but yeah.
All right. So talk to me about well, you have Avi Kaufman. How did Avi Kaufman come on board, for one thing? That's a casting director.
Yeah, shout out to Avi Kaufman. Is she here? Avi Kaufman, yeah, she was incredible. During the process of getting the feature made, we brought on some investors that, you know, resonated with the project, and Avi came in, and, you know, it was just like we met, and it just felt like she knew exactly what I was going for. Like normally I go for like I cast and work with non-actors, but you know, I've also worked with some named actors before, but to like merge the two, I was taking a huge gamble on myself as a director, but I always do that. I don't know why I do that to myself, but one day I'll learn.
So, well, and then in terms of, because a lot of, there were a few cast members, Karen, for instance, you were in the short. So you brought a few people over from the short as well as mixed in with some new folks. So how did you come to Stephen James?
Yeah.
How did he come to you? How did these guys come to? How did Sean come to you? How did that go down?
Yeah, it's all the process. So me and Sean met in the labs, in the Sundance labs, and like even before going to the Sundance labs, we met on Zoom, and we just like clicked immediately.
So Sean, were you there? Tell us about that. Were you at Sundance Lab for this project, for other stuff?
Yeah, I got the email that, you know, they wanted me to come to the lab to work on this. I saw the short, was like, yeah, I want to be down with that, you know. So I had the conversation with Rashad, and like he said, we clicked. And this role was not in the short,
Right.
But you know, it was something that they developed in the lab, and you know, after that, and we spoke. The story is that, you know, it was one scene, and I was like, I feel like this character's a little more involved.
Yeah, we're talking for like, during the process of workshopping that scene, I think we were talking for like 2 hours about it, and like, you know, I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I see it.
You lobbied for more of yourself.
No,
It
but
was
it worked.
a line in there that made it seem like to me, it made it seem like my character had a lot to do with Ricky getting locked up, but that was not the case apparently. Right. But when I told him, he's like, I like that. Yeah. we'll build on that.
It's all about discovery, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. So I'm curious about the way it's shot feels very raw in many aspects. The way it's edited feels very elegant, and I'd like to know. And additionally, your use of sound is a big deal in this.
Oh, you've been doing your homework.
Oh yeah,
huh?
well I watched it. I watched
Love
it. The score is excellent as well. And I'm curious, when did you find kind of the language of this film? Did you find was that written in from the beginning, or did you guys do a lot of work in post to get there?
Both. I would say both, because the thing is, like, I've developed this style, I would say, for quite a long time. I'm doing like documentary work. You know, I kind of wanted to incorporate that into cinema. So that was part of the process of doing that. And, you know, just exploring, and, you know, like when you're on the cutting room floor, I wanted to experiment with sound, but I actually did some of that. Like the short was like a blueprint that we played off of for the feature, and so it was kind of like a lot of all of that mashed together.
And back to the writing. So it's clearly it's Ricky's story. He's in the entire movie, right? But you really have managed to put a lot on these seemingly minor characters. They feel very full, and I'd love to know how you chose which ones to develop more. These relationships, like the relationship between the parole officer and the mother, is this moment, but it's throughout as well. That is just fascinating. Even Ricky's relationships with Terrence, with Bernetta, they have these depth to them. And I'm curious, how did you guys work through those? How did you come up with these?
I think a lot of the characters have kind of talked their way into it, not just you, Sean.
Not just me.
Because I think one of the main concepts of this is that when someone gets locked up, their family and friends get locked up too. So it was very important to show how his incarceration has affected the family and affected his community. With that, it was so important to see the brotherhood between him and his brother, where he kind of was the younger brother in this case, and his younger brother is his older brother, kind of teaching him the ropes, and his mom, of course, how that affects. But it was just very important. We didn't want to have one woman. It was very important that we didn't just have one woman and she was like, all the feminine energy was on this one character, because that's not how it is in life. There's usually so many women holding people down, and also men, but we just didn't want to, we wanted to make sure that the black women in this film weren't a monolith.
Mm-hmm. They're very full. I mean, even the young characters, the young women, like in another movie, the parole officer would be a guy. The young women would be like just a passing thing. Even the woman that he has his moment with. I want to ask you about the sex scene. Is such a brave scene. It's such a brave scene. I want to ask you about how you put it together, how you directed that the day of, how your actors were the day of.
Yeah. So where's my cinematographer? Oh, Sam, right there. So me and Sam, literally, we're in the trenches. We're in the trenches, like. I wanted to. So this is the first. Well, this is the second time I've shot an intimate scene before, but with this, like, we wanted to get as detailed as possible with being respectful. So if you notice, the camera didn't go like below here, but I didn't feel like we needed that, And I was like, thank God that Second AC brought on the headsets, because I just, from now on, when I direct, I'm gonna have that headset, because I'm like, every 2 seconds I'm talking, and I'm like, Sam, move. That's all he's hearing.
So you were communicating with him,
the whole
just
time,
quietly.
the whole time, just when to push in, when the pan over, fake like the camera's gonna. I'm not sure if you guys saw it when the camera was going to drop and tilt it back up. All of that was intentional. All of that was intentional. You know what I mean? Like, we really wanted to, have the camera, like, I wanted the audience to really feel like they were there. I wanted the audience to feel as uncomfortable as Ricky did. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Wow. Thank you so much. But yeah, so... Yep.
Yeah. So speaking of production, so how long was your production process period? How long were you guys actually shoot, and how long was post?
So the production was 20 days. It was a 20-day shoot. Yeah, 20-day shoot. 20-day shoot.
That's fast if you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to lobby for 30 days, but it didn't work out like that. So 20 days, so I had to make it work. Mm-hmm. We had to make it work. I want to give a big shout out to Karen, because she definitely helped out a lot, in like a lot in the film, for sure. And everybody, Sean, for lobbying your role even more. It worked.
And how long was post?
I would say, well, we actually was shooting. We were cutting while we were filming, but what, 3 months, 4 months.
3-4 months.
3-4
All
months.
right. So it's a healthy
Yeah.
prose period, not
Because
crazy.
we put out the DCP like a week before the premiere at Sundance. Wow. Yeah, so like
Did the film change much from script to production to edit?
Oh, it changed a lot.
In what ways?
Oh, there's so many ways. So, well, well, when you make a film, I teach as well, so I tell my students this. When you make a film, you're not just making one film, you're making 3 versions, because, when you write the script, that's one version. When you're on set, you make discovery, that's another version. And then when you're in post-production on the cutting room floor, that's another version. So from writing the script to the finished product, changed, from that process drastically. But in a good way,
Well, I'm curious because also the opening scene. I'm curious, was that a scene within the film, or was that always planned as your?
Yeah, that's
That
part of the
moment.
process of discovery. We did some like rearranging. So that's my aunt. That's from that I grew up in church with. Yeah, so I got a lot of family members in the film, and friends, and especially for your first film. Filming in my hometown. But yeah, it was. We did some rearranging, to really get the flow down.
So that was was that an individual full scene somewhere in the middle of the film that you decided, we could repurpose this for the beginning?
For sure.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's really good. It's really
Thank
good.
you. Thank you so
It's
much.
really it's a beautiful way to begin.
Thank you.
It's intimate, but also sort of like, where are we? What's going on?
And that
right?
was my childhood. Like we'd have like they'd have the prayer meetings and this and that. We'd have to be right there, whether we wanted to or not. I'm not gonna get into there, but
That's very funny. And the Vietnam vet, I want to ask you about this as well.
Yes.
Where did this character come from, and
Yeah.
and that again, another character that you're like,
Yeah.
I see where this is going.
Yeah. So
and then it
Desert
didn't go
Storm.
there, and you're like, this is great.
Yeah, so he's a Desert Storm vet. Shout out to Titus. Titus did a phenomenal job with that. That's another. I wish he was here. Like when I met Titus, we just instantly just clicked, and then I found out he was also NYU, and it was just like immediate, just like click. But so I'm ex-military. My father's ex-military. My father's actually a Desert Storm vet. So, and I have like from my journey in life, the military played a huge part in that, in regards to changing me from a boy to, a young man with, I didn't always have good discernment, that's just part of life, but it gave me like more direction. So I definitely, appreciate what the military did for me, and I wanted to implement that into the film.
And was that character always on that kind of trajectory, or was there versions of him that were more cliche, for lack of a better term?
No, he was always on that trajectory. I didn't want to do the cliche route. To be honest, so Ricky is just one installation of a universe. So there's more films to come out. So stay tuned. That's so it's gonna be like different branches off of Ricky. So you may see other characters in different films, and they're the protagonists and stuff like that.
All right, so there's a it's gonna be like the Marvel universe, but the Ricky.
Something like that. Something
Terrence
like that.
is next.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Hold on, wait a
Doing
minute.
it again, damn it.
Did you guys see when he left Ricky again in the courtroom? He left him. Shame on you.
Start
Let's
lobbying.
explore
now.
why
Left
he
him
did
twice.
in a film.
That's great. I love that you're lobbying right in front of us. It's good.
Yeah, I love it. That's how
can't
you gotta
stop.
do it. I love
Is
it.
anybody here from Variety? You can
I love it.
get the scoop out there. All right. So now this film, you won Best Director at Sundance.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And so what's the trajectory? What's going on with distribution?
Yeah. So we're almost there. We are almost like literally, we're close. right? That's yeah. I'm getting the nod. Yeah, we're close. I can't really get into
Yeah,
it.
we can't talk.
Yeah,
too much.
but yeah, I had to, yeah.
But right now you do not have a distributor right this minute.
We, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We do have a
All right,
distributor.
all right.
So if all goes
good.
well,
All will go well.
all will.
Oh, we'll go well. Yes,
Soon come.
yes,
Soon
Soon
come.
come.
Soon come.
Yeah,
yeah. The industry's weird right now. It's always weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird right now. But all right. Well, so we definitely want to tell people that they can go out and watch this film at some point in the near future. But for now, it's going to be you're going to be looking for it on
yeah.
screenings like this until it's out.
Theatrical release.
Pending.
Things like that.
All right. Well, I would like to know. Sorry, I didn't ask any questions. I would like you to know how you came. I did ask how you came to the short. How you got.
I've
auditioned
been
or-
waiting for my moment.
All right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
It harkens back to NYU Tisch School of the Arts.
Mafia.
Purple
All
Mafia.
of us
Purple Mafia.
were in grad school at the same time. And I actually booked this gig day one of grad school. You probably don't even remember. Standing at the elevator, Rashad had seen me in a play
Yes.
off Broadway and said,
Yes.
"You're that actress.
Yes.
You got to be in my movie."
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know
right.
his name, and I just said,
right.
"Okay."
Yeah. What year was that? That was
And
like
then that was a while
ago.
back.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
that's how we met at the elevator first day of school.
Yeah, that's
Oh, wow.
And I did the short, and then he called me back during COVID and said, "You still want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing this."
Well, then while we're here, what's everybody doing now? What's next what are you doing next?
Oh, me? Oh, I'm
Everybody.
writing. I'm writing a lot, and I'm in the incubator. I'm in the womb. I'm coming out blazing. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple projects that waiting to come out, just came out, and developing some things as well. Trying to get behind the scenes, developing a series that hopefully you get some money behind and get it out there.
It'll happen.
Well, I was in the writing, when they were in the grad film school, I was actually in the writing program. So I just finished writing an opera
Nice.
on James Baldwin. I have 2 plays coming down the pike and a screenplay.
Nice. Dope.
And I'm still an actor, so all that.
Higher.
And you're working on the next.
Yeah, so I'm reading some books. One that I'm really interested in. So I just sent it to my agency if we could get the option on it. And I have a lot of stuff. I'm cooking, like the whole camp. It's a bunch of it. It's not just. It's all of us. Like we have like a unit, like a tribe. So we're just gonna, in the next few years, just keep hitting them out like what Master P did when No Limit came out. We're just gonna be hitting them out. That's how we're gonna do.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you for
so
coming.
much.
Thanks for
All right,
coming out,
appreciate
everybody.
it.
All right.